Somebody's inspiration connected to you is flowing through me. If you've ever heard me state the pre-workout effect, well, in case if you haven't, there's this thing that I energetically have called with my guides the pre-workout effect. When I feel that burning sensation, that tingling, the inspiration, when it's a point of consistency, being able, go with me here, to not be thrown away ever, but shelved for inspiration, for movement. And that when that consistency is time to come back, it will. Right now, long story short, somebody is inspired to reach out to you. And before we finish this reading or go into it, I'm going to explain to you that I like this inspiration. Of course, you should always like inspiration, right? Go with me here. Depending on how long you've been here, you've heard me talk about that inspiration comes and goes, but consistency stays, okay? This inspiration doesn't feel like it's something out of impulse. This has still been a long thought out process for them. And they've been waiting for this oomph, divine timing, things to be in place for it to feel right. That even though they've wanted to reach out to you for so long or go to the next step, if you are already in communication, they've needed to wait for the right time. And Spirit is gushing through them that it's here. This summer, they have a lot of plans. This person has battled their insecurities. I sense a lot of body dysmorphia has been something that was like a deep importance for both of you, but definitely them. They compared themselves to others and etc. and they put your looks, if you will, go with me here, on like a pedestal. They thought that you were too good for them. They thought all of these things. And now they realize, why was I thinking about myself that way? I am perfect the way I am. I love myself. Of course you want me. Of course you do. You see, it starts from within. The only way we have inspiration, the only way we have this ability to exert this influence on the outside world is by believing it within ourselves. They are going to be able to do the leap of faith because of this inspiration. And then once you're in front of each other, or if you're already in contact, this is a leap of faith of taking it to the next level. If you've been in like slow texting or here or there seeing each other, etc. The next time you're in front of each other, there is this state of, where is this going? I do want more. My mind tries to tell me I'm scared, but my heart's telling me not to be. I've plugged in, I've plugged out, I've gone inwards, I've asked outwards, and all the signs say yes. They find you sweet, precious. The value you bring into their life, they really want this card, and these two cards. The value you brought into their life, I don't think they've ever been able to really understand how to express it to you. They know that they were a runner. And they're like, I'm not going back to that. I'm done with that part of my life. I am here, I am now, and I'm ready for the present future. Let's get into this. This person is extremely self-reflective, okay? This reading is about retrieving your understandings of where they've came from, what they have and continue to battle. Because here's the thing, the reason that they're ready to come forward is they understand every time I think, once that is going to be finished, I'm then going to be able to either release the care for them, or on a whole other page, be able to reach out to them because that has been completed. I'm not having that fear anymore, etc. There's always something else that's going to come after. It's not about being perfect before we meet somebody or get with them. It's about knowing yourself and allowing everything to develop from there. This experience, this human experience, is about balance of individuality, of being able to only search within for answers, but also having that team. The person attached to you. The biggest part of this reading is really about you being able to understand their hesitation, even though you've given them the benefit of the doubt. You've understandably so. I've had plenty of people, hey, this ain't worth it. I'm not waiting around for this, blah, blah, blah. This person's different. All right, let's do this. So, what they feel about you is this internal peace, okay? When they're surrounded by nothing but your energy, they want to spend in a deep amount of intimacy, of alone time with you. They've had to battle for attention, not from you before, with other people. And this could even go down to childhood, like battling attention for their parents' love. So they learned this film, if you will, like this film over like a gloss of how to not get them to get themselves just close enough to a person without feeling like that person can take their power, right? It was very easy for them to kind of just like brush people off. Like they were an energy of, as soon they could see their micromanagement and self when it came to like certain relationships, that everything doesn't have to be one way. It's like they would micromanage the way they said things, the way you said things. Things had to go a perfect way for them. And they didn't realize it. You saw it. So that's why you were so hyper-focused on the way you would talk to them and etc. And it did leave, it's not even a sour taste in the mouth. It did leave you feeling like sometimes like you were stepping around eggshells, right? But you saw the bigger picture. The thing about your connection is every time you had hesitation, it's going to sound contradictory, but this is it. Every time you've had like some deep hesitation about, do I even read this correctly? It's not, do I want this? Is Spirit showing me that this is meant for me? Do they want this? Am I being crazy? Etc. There was always a sign that Spirit would send. A song, a number, their name, maybe even literally them, like seeing them pass by if you're in a place where you live close to each other, like on the road, etc. Or you saw their car, etc. Every time you've had doubts, there was always a gut feeling that you were right and there was something bigger here. Every time they've had doubts, the same thing has happened. Signs, etc. But your faith in Spirit has definitely been stronger than theirs. Not that they don't have faith in Spirit. Far from that. But they were a very like practical person. They had to have so much evidence, tangible evidence. And now they see that Spirit was sending them spiritual forms of tangible evidence all the time. Spirit does block us, put blinders and shades onto certain things until we're ready to know them. This person was afraid of their own emotions, afraid of saying something they didn't mean to you. So they would also, that's another reason they would go ghost. They're like, I don't want to say anything wrong, so how about I just don't say anything at all? They had an internal conflict about jealousy with you. They felt like you already had too many people in your life that you wouldn't be able to make room. They didn't want to be a second choice, which I completely understand, right? But you're like, you're not a second choice. I have my friends, I have my loved ones, and there's a spot for you at that table. In fact, nobody has been allowed to sit at that spot. It's been reserved for you. Yeah, I've had other people bring their chairs up. We've even added some tables, but your spot, no, nobody's been able to sit in that. We can always add another table. We can always add another chair, but we can't add another you. So when we go into that micromanaging, they have learned, they have realized this was a learned habit about them, a learned trait. They could have had a masculine figure growing up that didn't teach them about emotions, no matter if you're the feminine or masculine. What I sense for this person is they had they either had a father or a role model, etc., that definitely didn't teach them what a masculine in touch with himself and the outside world and willpower, to know when to say something, to know when not to say something, to know when to stand up, when to just let things roll over. They didn't get taught that. In fact, they probably had a very, it's galactics resonates, but it's an energy of a very neglected father or a very absent parental figure in general. There's a little bit of rage in here as well as what I'm feeling, so this person could definitely nail bullseye. Very scared of another side of themselves, like a monster within. And they felt that you were so positive or etc. that you wouldn't be able to take that part of them. But here's the thing, they see totally different now. They understand your positivity comes from realness. You know your monster, and you know how to keep your monster at bay. They see the errors, okay, in their hesitation. They want to talk about the miscommunications, the triggers, because that's what we're placed in each other's lives. These types of connections are activating. They're going to talk to you and be like, I'm here. I want more. Do I still feel some form of hesitation? I'm not going to lie to you. It's not that I feel the hesitation, but I do feel worry, and I know that it's not going to go away unless I try. Please be gentle with my heart. I'm a strong fucking person. I have been through hell and back. But please, if I give you my heart, don't break it, is what they're saying to you. You know yourself. You know what you believe in this connection. You know that once this pre-workout effect fades away between both of you, the consistency is still staying. And that's another thing they've noticed about you. They've always felt that there was an unfinished story between you two. And as they've watched you from afar, from what I'm sensing, you've stayed consistent to who you are. If anything, you just continue to evolve. They see that you have chosen to be the superhero of your own life, not the villain. It's the same story. It's the same start. The villain arc or the superhero arc or whatever stems from trauma, a very traumatic, life-altering experience, and how you choose to migrate with it. I feel as their pre-workout effect subsides, the consistency is here to stay. What are they thinking right now about you as we speak? They are more closer to reaching out to you or going to that next step on where are we going from here, making a plan, etc., than they've ever been before. They are exhausted in a sense, and you can feel it. They're exhausted with wondering and waiting and longing for you. They've lost all the tears that they can. They want to talk to you about a lot of the things they've lost. This is a positive reading. This person is part of your highest timeline. But this reading is really helping you focus in on their paranoias, fears, anxieties, and the loss that they've experienced. If you want this person, you have to accept all of them. In the next few years, your connection is expanding. You're never going to chase. But you are going to catch their tears. You are going to see the blood running through both of you. You're going to help them battle fears when it comes to their blood family. There's something about definitely having to break away from what they were taught, facing their fears head on, their family head on. It's very interesting energy. So, these are collective takes to resonate. Someone could have lost a family member in recent times. And they were afraid, wow, this is a whole other download I just received. God, when you lose somebody, it can make you almost scared to love again. Because of that pain. And that was the thing with them. They're like, I don't want to fall in love again with somebody, no matter if it's platonic, friendship, etc. Because losing somebody hurts too much. But you know what hurts more than that? Not allowing yourself to receive the love you are deserving. The one thing we're promised in this life is death. It's about embracing while we're here. It's about not focusing on what we can't change. It's about living. They see that they are not weak because they need help. And the help I'm talking about is emotions. They see you as gold. They see your charity to help others as gold. They see how much loss you have gone through. And that beauty of how you see life. You're an inspiration. Truly. This is Spirit's guidance for you. Support. Encourage them. Allow your goals, your responsibilities to stay of utmost focus. But you're going to have times to pause together. It's time to invite them back. Go with me here. It's in time to invite the future back into each other's lives. Meaning no more just like seriously slow and steady wins the race. Or depending on what part of this you're in, like the ghosting, the no communication. It's time for you to tell the universe, because the universe is telling you, hey, we can speed up a bit. Don't go full force. yeah, let's get a good jog going. You're gonna keep your goals of utmost importance, but you're gonna split your time accordingly. Spirit's encouraging you to totally jump into this. Like, believe. When you met each other, you wouldn't have been ready. But there was no way for you to be even, go with me here. When you first met each other, you weren't ready for each other. But there was no way for you two to be ready for each other unless you would have met. And what, guys? Separated for further growth. Everything else, you're going to be able to cherish so much more of your life together for those few times that you were separated. It may have seemed like forever in those moments, but if you really think about it, how fast is it gone? And to sacrifice that time to build everything else together, it's a blimp. It just felt long. You're right here. And they're right here. And you're about to be strapped into the roller coaster, holding hands to proceed forward. They feel strong, and they should. But not even just about themselves, about your connection. They feel secured. So your step out of here is to not be afraid of loss. To understand you've already surrendered to the process. To continue to walk and be yourself. And let them bring this to you. That's what I got for y'all today. Now we're going to talk about Trova trip. It is time to start planning for the 2025 trip. There are time frames and places I've been brainstorming with my trip advisor with, okay? Open to all options. What I need from you to do is if you go to any of my social media platforms, meaning if you go to the description of this video, you're going to see the link that's going to take you to the survey page. If you're on my Instagram, if you go to my profile and you go into the links up on the top, you open that up, you're going to see where it says plan a Trova trip with me. And then on my website, there are links, there is buttons all over that will show you how to navigate to that site. Once you're there, you're going to see a picture of my face. And if you scroll down a bit, there's going to be a orange button that says, let's start. Let's plan together. You click that, it's a 2-minute survey, and it tells me the places that you're wanting to go, events, etc. You go ahead and fill that out. It's going to be out for a couple of weeks, and I want to keep you guys updated as more and more information flows. This is for the 2025 trip. My Colorado trip has been all in place. I can't tell you how grateful I am for all of you to further connect, to raise the vibration of this world together. So Trova trip 2025. Go take that survey. Let me know where you want to go. And we'll go from there. That's what I got for y'all today. And I'll see you when I see you. Let's get it. you.